What's up, everybody? This is Shayne and Wally's Great Alaskan Adventure. This is where Wally and I met up in Seattle. I had already driven from my hometown in Northern California to Sacramento, and he drove from the Salem area up to Seattle, and then we flew from Seattle together up to Fairbanks. Here is us taking off in Seattle and our trip goals. So we wanted to see the Aurora Borealis, climb Donnelly Dome, get tattoos, and go on a flight scene tour, and most of all, we wanted to have a great adventure together. Now, the reason why we went on this trip was because Daniel's birthday was over the course of this trip, and as you can see right here, when we were in the plane, we saw part of the Aurora Borealis from the sky somewhere in eastern Alaska, maybe over Canada. So, number one is complete. When we got there, we met up with Peyton, who is Wally's girlfriend, and we were able to stay at her family's house in Fairbanks. This is a little tour of their house. We only got to spend the one night there. It was kind of fortunate that we were even able to stay with them. We were planning on staying in a hotel, but they asked us if we wanted to stay with them, and it was super awesome to stay here and look at the view from their living room. It is gorgeous there. Alright, so in our first full day in Alaska, we had breakfast at Bun on the Run, or House of the Rising Bun, there in Fairbanks, and we wanted to spend some time with Peyton and her family before we took off for my cousin's house, because Peyton couldn't join us for the whole trip as we were flying out of Anchorage, and it was kind of last minute kind of deal that we were even able to hang out with Peyton and stay at her family's house, so that was super awesome. Good or bad? Next, we went to the museum at the university there in Fairbanks. We've lost Wally. Can't find him. No. We did ended up finding him, so that was good. Didn't have a disaster right there at the beginning. Here's me spying on him and Peyton a little bit. I took this picture because my son, who is 5 years old, loves dinosaurs, and that is a Triceratops skull, so that was super cool. And this is Wally's new throne. And now it is time for us to jam out and head from Fairbanks to Delta Junction to meet up with my family there that I haven't seen in somewhere around 17 years. We had to stop at the North Pole, Alaska. We stopped at the Santa Claus house, and this is the inside. And if you know me, you know that I am all about Christmas, and this place is ridiculous. I am super happy that this was not the last place that we went. Otherwise, I probably would have bought a bunch of stuff from here. All right, got to my cousin's house in Alaska, and we're outside and it's super beautiful, but there's bugs everywhere, so we got to get rid of them somehow. All right, so about to hike Donnelly. Daniel's getting ready to go. Roxy's ready. And right there is what we're gonna hike. Looks like a small hill. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, status update. We're significantly closer, so already hiked quite a bit, and here we go. All right, so here we are actually getting to the beginning of the hike here. Now, when we were planning this trip, I asked my family that lives in Alaska, kind of all over the place, what are some places to see, places to go, and my cousin Ray, WT's daughter said that Donnelly Dome was absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And so Wally and I said, well, they're from Alaska. If they think it's beautiful, then it's probably pretty ridiculous. We should do that. Now, they did warn me that the hike is pretty rough, pretty tough hike, and I'm pretty out of shape. But I wanted to give it a go anyway. And so this is like the trail we went on led us to kind of this point here, and that's looking straight up. It's like a 45-degree angle. It felt like we were hiking straight up. We were climbing on our hands and knees. There's a good angle shot of us, not even very far up. At a certain point, Wally took off. Roxy had to go back to go to work, so it was just Wally and I hanging out there, getting some good pictures. But this hike kicked my ass. I almost gave up probably 50 different times. If Wally had been staying back with me, I never would have made it up. But because he went up ahead of me, I would just stop and take my breath and, get a good shot, get a good picture, and then when I was ready, I would just move up a little bit. And eventually I got so high up that there was no turning back. Here I saw a plane that was going over the pipeline. I don't know if they were looking at the pipeline or just flying around, but I got a picture of that. I'm not gonna lie, I got tons and tons of really good pictures. At a certain point, this hike killed me. But the views were spectacular. Even if we weren't at the very top, the views were absolutely incredible. But it was rough. It was rough. All right, so we are almost to the top. No joke, Wally has already made it up once and gone halfway down to get me, and now we're almost to the top. This is no joke hike. Like, I am way, way out of shape, but I'm almost to the top, and I can't go back until I make it to the top. There's no way I can make it this close and not go all the way to the top. This is where we came from. Let's look straight down. You can't even see all the way down. Oh man. The only thing keeping me going is how I'll feel when I get to the top. I'll check in with you when I get there. Larry reached the top.
Harry, I've reached the top.
All right, WT, tell everybody where we're going next.
We're going to Clearwater River. Clearwater Creek? I don't know if it's a river or creek.
What are we gonna do there?
We're gonna catch some grayling.
Some grayling.
Grayling, yeah.
Grayling. About how heavy are grayling?
I don't know. We go by inches.
Oh, how many inches?
So let's go. We want some 12 plus inchers, I think.
12 plus inches? Now, is that 8 inches in real life, or is that 12 for realsies?
It's man's 12.
All right, I like it. All right, stay tuned for next check-in. so here we are. We have launched. Now, it's just WT and I in the boat. Wally's not there with us. We asked Wally to back the trailer back up because there's a couple plugs that we need to put in there. So we just drove upriver a little bit and then turned around to come back to load back onto the trailer so we can put the plugs back on. Alright, so when we went back in the water after we put the plugs in, Wally went to go park the truck and we drifted down a little bit. We were just chit-chatting, and when he tried to start the boat, not so much. Just floating on down. So we were pretty much stranded out there, and because we had already turned on the motor, we thought it would be fine, and so we floated a little farther than we had meant to. We floated about a mile. Alright, here's WT.
This is how we do boat rides in Alaska.
Taking his turn to drag the boat. As you can see, I had my turn, and we are almost back. Right up there where you see those people, that's where we're going. So, you know, if this water was stagnant, it'd be frozen. But since it's a river, might have to cut off one of WT's toes, but we'll be alright. Alright, so while we didn't get to do any fishing, I would say that we had a pretty good adventure and got a pretty good story to tell. After we were done loading the boat back up, we all went out to dinner at the cave. We got to just hang out and spend some time, you know, with family and friends. And our server was Roxy, so that was nice as well.
Anything else?
Wagon for the
I think
break.
we're doing okay. We finally got our server. She's back here.
Took forever.
Yes. I'm pretty good at my job.
Yeah. She's been doing it for how long? Nice. Kind of an expert.
It's a quick study is what that is.
It's picture time, and I handed my phone to the girl taking pictures backwards, so she snapped a picture of herself first. Here is myself, Ray, Roxy, WT's two daughters, and Avery, Ray's son. And then here is Wally and Junior added to the family. Junior is Ray's fiance. All right. It is now time to sadly leave Delta Junction, but we get to head towards Anchorage, so trip's not over, just this leg of it. And yeah, we'll check in along the drive. All right, it is now our third full day in Alaska, and we are heading from Delta Junction down to Anchorage. We've got to go down there on this day, our third full day, because we are in Tom's truck. Tom is WT's son. He works a 2-week on, 2-week off rotation in the north coast of Alaska, and he flies back into Anchorage the next day. So we have to be down in Anchorage to pick him up from the airport and find out if he is going to join us or if he's going to drive back up home and not have fun on our adventure. This view on the camera does not do the elevation justice. I think didn't we look it up and it was like 1,400 feet?
Was it the whole elevation?
Isn't the incline 1,400 feet?
Peak elevation is 3,000.
Right, but what was the...
It was 15.
From base, it was 1,500?
That's what my app said. And no picture does that justice.
No. Alright, couple things to talk about real quick here. First, the entire trip, no matter where I looked, it was beautiful. This is the prettiest terrain I have ever seen in my life. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everything was incredible. So you might see a lot of footage like this. My apologies if it's too much. All right, so this day that we're on here is the 29th of August, and the next day is hunting season. And here is one of the many, many hunting rigs that we saw getting ready for hunting season. You can tell it's a statewide event. There were just tons of RVs and trucks pulling trailers with various off-roading rigs and getting ready to hike out or drive out and do some hunting. All right, so because my family lives in Alaska, we were pretty much able to do this trip. Without my family, this trip would not have been nearly as cool. Seeing my family after such a long time was absolutely incredible. Right now, we are heading down to Anchorage. This night is our pretty much one night that we are, kind of alone, doing our own thing. And then we're going to pick up Tom, and then we're going to head down to my aunt's house, WT's mom's house, down in Kenai. All right, we stopped at this place because there was that zip line sign, and we were looking for, just any kind of adventure. We were flying by the seat of our pants. The dude that worked in the store in there was not the same as the zip line people, and he was pretty rude, so we didn't really like that. Here we are at 49th State Brewery Company in Alaska, in Anchorage, and they had some really good beers and some really, really good food. Now, because this is our one night kind of by ourselves without family, after dinner, Wally looked up a tattoo shop that did walk-ins since we didn't plan really anything, and we found Hardlines Tattoo, which takes walk-ins, and we're open pretty late. So when we were done with dinner, we went down there and we did in fact get ourselves some tattoos. Now, I've started this new thing in my life where when I go on a big adventure, especially to another state or a different place, I want to get a tattoo of it. So I'm going to fill up one of my legs, hopefully with tattoos from all 50 states. And so that's why getting something a little Alaska themed was important to me. And then Wally did kind of the same thing with his tattoo, and Wally actually got a epic tattoo that he did not even ask for. He went in there trying to get like a mountain range silhouette, and Rick found out that it was Wally's birthday, and Rick was having absolutely none of that. And so Rick designed him a much bigger, much larger, much cooler tattoo than what Wally was asking for, and it turned out pretty damn great. So Rick, thank you so much. And if you're in the Anchorage area and you want to get tattoos, go to Hardlines and see him because he is fantastic. Show me your this doesn't hurt face. So here we are, day 4. We picked up Tom from the airport in Anchorage, and he decided that he was going to go with us to Kenai to visit his grandmother, my aunt, and also my cousin. And it was really cool that he decided to go with us because we got to spend a lot more time together, and he made the adventure a lot better. He was super awesome to be with. So Tom, thank you very much for coming with us. Here we are at the Wildlife Nature Preserve. We wanted to stop by and see some of the awesome animals that we don't get to see very often living down, well, not in Alaska.
let's just say, hypothetically, right? You're out in the woods, and you see one of those guys, and they're like just staring at you. Don't like look them in the eye. Just look them at, like, in general, look at them.
Yeah.
Don't make any sudden movements. And you just back away real slow. Don't turn your back on them. Don't run away. And just start to curl up into a ball and protect your neck.
Is that all bears?
Damn near. Even a black bear. Those things stronger than most men.
What does this particular animal feel about you, Wally? Thanks for the show, buddy.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Needless to say, we had a good time. I don't want to make your ears bleed by allowing you to hear the whole audio, but we did the whole song together. And then we went out to eat at Louis' restaurant, which was absolutely amazing. Louis was
Time for that later. In true Louis fashion, we are going to all sing happy birthday to Daniel. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you. Big thank you to my Aunt Denise for treating us all to dinner at this absolutely fantastic restaurant. Thank you so much. Alright, so we just left Aunt Denise's house and we're heading to Homer for our last full day here on the trip to Alaska.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wally doesn't know that I'm even recording, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Alright, say hi, Wally. Alright, good deal. Alright, day 5, heading down to Homer. We're going to go out onto the Homer Spit, which is this long peninsula out of town with a bunch of touristy stuff at the end, including the Salty Dog, which we were told we've got to go check out. And then we've got 1 or 2 more adventures we've got to hammer out before we head back up to Kenai. Alright, so Tom and I hung out for a little bit, and the three of us went and got fish and chips at one of the restaurants on the Spit. And then after we had lunch, we had to go over for an appointment with Barrel Air for Wally and I to go on a flight seeing tour over the Spit, over a glacier. Some great views. Check it out. Pilot was Brittany. She was absolutely amazing. If you end up down in Homer and you're gonna go on a flight sim tour, choose Barrel Air. It was super easy process to get everything done. It was very last minute. We called that day to see if there was any availability, and they got Brittany down there for us, and she flew us around, and it was pretty great. Alright, so before we left Homer, we had to stop by a local brewery, so we went to Homer Brewing Company. I had an iced chai, and Wally and Tom had beers, and it was super awesome. They had this cool patio area that we could go out and sit and drink, and it was super nice. And then it was time to drive back up to Kenai, to my aunt's house.
Sunset is at 9:06, so we want to go down to the inlet.
This here's the best chili stew you could ever have. And that is it. Here is Wally and I at the airport together. And then here is myself alone after Wally leaves, and the adventure has come to an end. But a huge thank you to everybody we interacted with on the trip, and especially to my family and Peyton and Peyton's family, because without all of you, the trip wouldn't have been nearly as amazing, and it was one of the most amazing trips that I've ever been on. So thank you to all of you. Love you so much, and thank you for watching the video of our adventure.